All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Dark Season 3, Episode 6. Shot through the heart.
No,
and you're to blame.
no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
No.
a lot of people died last episode. Like,
Yeah.
that was...
Yeah, a lot of people.
Oh, man.
Quite a few.
Yeah,
It
last
was
episode was
crazy.
rough.
Yeah, and then to go from that into just whatever's next with a world without younger Jonas, Martha being the remaining protagonist.
Yep. We are officially in new territory, like in the most concrete of ways.
In the most concrete of way, yeah, because the gun that can kill young Jonas, couldn't kill older Jonas as Adam.
Right.
That's really interesting. Mm-hmm. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's spicy. Like there's so much. There's so much probably ahead of us with just.
Well, that's the thing. There's 3 episodes left.
Right, but in terms of how much they can show us, because we went all the way back to Katharina's mom. Like,
Yep.
Like,
and
we're killing off like
we're
adults,
cleaning house.
We're cleaning a main character off the list.
So now that we have 3 episodes left, what do we do to bring this ship into port? How do we get our happy ending? How can we save both the different timelines?
Well, we did some Claudia stuff last episode.
We did.
I think that could be pretty cool to have, potentially focused on.
And we've got the whole thing of a particular mother-daughter pair going off to do something, which could theoretically be completely innocuous. Depending on what they decide to have it be, or it could be everything.
I think that's going to be a big part of this, because it might be the propagation of the entire timeline.
Right.
Potentially.
And yet, how?
Yeah. But y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Okay.
The instigating event.
The goop.
Or the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Going back here. Okay.
Well, she has to do it now. She has to show up. Wait, what?
Oh, shit.
No way.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Okay.
He's remembering
how
his version of events that led... Wait.
Okay. I like it.
Whoa.
Cool. I'm glad we got that. That was an important detail.
Right.
I hadn't thought about that, but we did need that explanation.
It was just him all along. He's the one from the other universe, basically.
Aus diesem Labyrinth gibt. Ein Weg, mich zu retten.
Whoa.
Und dich.
Okay.
Den Knoten am Ende zu lösen. Jedes Schicksal in diesem Knoten ist geknüpft an das...
Okay, all 3 of them. Fun.
All right.
Warum macht Adam das?
Yeah, we didn't see how she got that scar.
Wir passen perfekt zusammen.
Wow.
Ich glaube niemals etwas anderes.
And her saying the words back to him. Love it.
Cool. And that's a great way to get at the character growth, too, because versions of Jonas won't see Martha alive again, right? And so it basically involves him needing to learn to let go.
Right, so his iteration did reset the loop of things, but it didn't get us out of the maze. It just sent it back again, and he basically accomplished nothing, and he came here. This whole story is about joining and letting go. That's why the kaleidoscope works so well.
Right.
Light and shadow.
Okay, all right. Yo,
all right, we're getting Martha and Jonas. Maybe the old ones talking to each other finally.
Right. And You're in a different area than the other three of you.
You're in the fog. That's kind of a shadow light mix, you know, right there. You're kind of in a. All right.
Day of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
All right.
Is this gonna be the longest day in this show's
I don't know.
history?
Yeah.
Oh.
The number of times that we've seen that.
Yeah, it reminds me of Claudia furiously going.
Yep. Oh, the blood's in her hair, and that's why she cuts it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Fuck this yellow jacket.
Yeah.
This yellow jacket in particular. Fuck that. Hey. I may be a dumbass, but even I can tell you've been through some shit. Like, come here, little sister. Like, come here.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay.
Keine Ahnung, was mit dir gerade los ist. Aber dass du Mama so hängen lässt, ist nicht fair. Das hat sie nicht verdient.
Hui. Hui wei.
Fun. Yep. This thing be hopping everywhere.
Musste sterben. Ihr seid falsch. In seiner Welt.
Oh.
Und in unserer.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So wie es das Schicksal vorgesehen hat. Für unsere Welt. Und seine.
It's cool that we're here. It's just more info of stuff that she got time with her older self to
Yeah.
You know, set her up for whatever's coming. Yeah.
Die Apokalypse nicht passiert. Du hast mich genauso belogen, wie mein älteres Ich mich belogen hat.
Oh, shit.
Ein Paradies zu erschaffen, in dem wir frei sind von unserem Schicksal. Und frei sind von Schmerz.
Oh, but he fucked it up.
Dafür muss die Apokalypse passieren. In meiner Welt und in deiner.
Yep.
Okay.
Jonas! Jonas! Lass mich raus! Jonas!
This one seems really content to let her go.
Yeah.
Oh, these shots are getting more and more epic.
Ich weiß, ich habe gesagt, ich bleibe heute zu Hause, aber es ist etwas dazwischen gekommen. Es tut mir leid.
Ist schon in Ordnung.
This is just a story of parents telling their kids, "I'm sorry." You
Yeah.
know? Like that's this
In the
whole
best
show.
of cases.
Bartosz, that's
Was soll ich
okay.
sagen?
I take L's every week.
Oh.
Jemand erpresst mich.
Whoa.
Was?
Maybe this universe is better. Honesty.
Mein Name ist nicht Alexander.
Wow.
Ich heiße Boris. Boris Niewald.
I love that this is the way that it's getting brought back up.
Was ist mit Mama? Wusste Mama davon?
Damn. Did you let her live and die never knowing who you were?
Yeah.
Es tut mir leid.
I like it. He's not requesting anything of Bartosz. He's just letting him know and being like, I'm sorry. Bartosz can do with that information what he wants.
Nee, der ist doch unter der Dusche. Kann ich vielleicht warten? Das ist wichtig.
Damn.
Und zu Hause? Alles gut?
Yeah. How's the home life? Oh my god.
You sure you want to wait here? Because
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
in my territory.
Bist du fertig im Bad?
Ja, klar.
The way she kind of pushed him with the belly bump. Like,
Yep.
That was so well done.
Naja, komm nie wieder ungefragt hierher.
Bro, she could be 20 feet back there. Like.
Ich gedacht, es muss ein Versehen sein, dass die Bilder falsch markiert wurden. Aber das hier, diese kleine Rille.
Yep, impossible. Impossible to be exactly the same. Yeah.
Überhaupt keinen Sinn. Aber
Hannah comes rushing in from eavesdropping.
Yeah.
der Pfennig irgendwie durch die Zeit gereist.
And that plus the whole thing with Mads.
Noch in Untersuchungshaft. Ulrich!
Yeah, what? Why are you...
Okay. So,
It's always people figuring it out right before everything ends.
but the fact that she would also... Well, actually, has she met the other her that went to get Jonas? So she... Yeah. All right.
She just saw Jonas die. She just saw her.
Oh,
at that point there, yeah.
Right, so the fact that... Right, exactly. It's she's cutting the hair, and she also knows that this,
I mean, she's in shock, but yes,
Sure, yeah,
yes.
she might not be thinking about that, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah. She even applied makeup. Yeah. I'm about to go on a journey now.
Was ist denn passiert?
After you have been missing me for all this time.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna leave again.
Glaubst du an Schicksal?
When your kid's been missing, shows up, and the first thing they say is, "Do you believe in fate?"
Ich glaube, dass wir unser Leben selbst in die Hand nehmen. Dass wir entscheiden, welchen Weg wir gehen.
You have a choice, Martha. It's so cool to see Martha in the Jonas position, like in season 1, you know?
Yeah.
Vater und ich. Vielleicht ist jetzt vieles anders.
Right, because she's thinking, like, this is the... Yeah, I know, the divorce is hard.
Nein, das muss es nicht.
This feels like such a with great power comes great responsibility moment where like the adult thinks they know what's going on, and like that would be something that would bother them, but it's like no. We're in way deep. We're in crazy storyland. This is
I can't share this stuff with you.
Yeah. This goes so far beyond
I can't just say I'm being blackmailed by somebody.
Right.
Jemandem etwas versprochen.
Okay. Yeah. Oh.
Wow.
That was such a
She's
badass
gonna make
scene.
the apocalypse happen and everything. Like, oh. Lottie's gonna do her part too. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all just so many people being pushed into positions so that both universes have the apocalypse. Both of them have the special kind of gateway, which means then that you could, for the post-apocalyptic world of both of them, potentially have people cross back and forth. That's like
Maybe.
basically the whole key to everything here.
Is to actually complete the infinity symbol.
Like
Have a stable portal. Or maybe you send the portals into each other and they collapse and that gets rid of it. But this looks...
Yeah,
this is different.
This is maybe what they were trying to create.
Yeah, maybe this is what gets turned into the orb things.
Yeah, this is what gets into the smaller device.
Man and God.
Who is that? What was that voice? Oh, fun.
Okay.
Fun.
Right, because there was that period of time that, like, you know, we had the little time skip or whatever, so we didn't know what Jonas did in that time.
Liegt er noch in seiner Welt?
Oh, are we gonna full out explain it here?
Der Moment, der die Dinge in die eine oder in die andere Richtung laufen lässt.
Yeah, turning in the... Yeah.
In unsere Welt. Oder nicht? Eine Linie, die in einer Schleife wieder auf...
Oh, that's the beginning.
Außenkante der Linie oder auf der Innenkante der Linie. Und doch ist es dieselbe Linie.
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
Wiederholt sich in der Schleife wieder und wieder.
Again and again.
Das eine der Auslöser für das andere.
Wow.
Nice.
That's so cool. Sure, you can call it quantum entanglement. Fine.
That's not what it is.
Yeah.
Was tut, wird von uns gelenkt. Er kann seinem Schicksal nicht entkommen.
Wow. Wow.
Es ist übrig geblieben.
From the
Nach der
apocalypse.
Katastrophe.
Yeah.
Nice.
Das Gottesteilchen.
But Jonas came here in the future after the apocalypse, and it was the roiling darkness, so...
Right.
Passage gibt es nicht mehr. Aber das hier.
Yeah.
Wenn ich herausfinde, wie es funktioniert, dann kann ich zurück. Dann kann ich sie retten, Martha und Mikkel.
Ah, gotcha. Right. Okay. Right, because it's a ways from here that it becomes the roiling black mass.
Yeah.
Die Substanz, die er
Der
benötigt.
Apparat. Du hast ihn noch.
Oh.
Wo ist der?
Oh.
And this is how he becomes middle-aged Jonas.
This is how he becomes middle-aged Jonas, yeah.
Er ist kaputt.
Right.
It's broken, yeah.
Vielleicht musste erst alles so passieren. Damit es sich ändert beim nächsten Mal.
No. Oh.
Vielleicht gelingt es beim nächsten Mal.
Ich habe keine Zeit, 33 Jahre zu warten. Soll ich mich wieder belügen, damit alles genauso passiert? Nur damit ich diesmal auf der anderen Seite der Bunkertür stehe?
Aha. Ja. Ja. Wow.
Ein älteres Ich. Sie wusste, dass Martha stirbt.
Aha. Aha.
Wie sie stirbt.
Ja. Ja.
Warum sollte ich dir vertrauen?
Alright, yeah, showing the sundering. Okay.
Kann dir helfen, Martha zu retten. Alle zu retten.
Oh. Ah, it's all actually looped. It's all actually looped. Like,
Okay.
it was never another universe. It's just, oh, it is a true perfect loop. The only, oh.
Yeah, we got a full-on Mobius strip. Like,
Yep.
Martha?
Kann ich reinkommen?
Yeah, I've been waiting for this day all my life.
across universes.
I don't know why, but it feels so right.
Es ist eine eigenartige Substanz entstanden.
Why are you telling me all
Und dein
this?
Vater hat
Because I know you have a crush on me, and so maybe you'll believe me.
das Zeug, das war die ganze Zeit in den Höhlen. Es hängt alles zusammen. Die Substanz.
Dark fans trying to convince
Yeah,
non-dark
yeah,
fans. You should
right.
watch this show.
Ich muss mit ihm sprechen.
Löst was aus.
The end of the world.
Die Apokalypse.
He's already primed to believe things. His dad just told him that
Oh,
he's
yeah.
not his dad. Or, I mean, he is, but, you know, not
Right.
who he says he is.
Seine Leiche irgendwie konserviert wurde?
Konserviert? Was meinst du mit konserviert?
Someone froze it, maybe? Or...
Yeah, look for the little scar.
Alles in Ordnung?
Diese Narbe am Kinn.
Oh.
Remember?
Yeah, no, but that's a fresh scar. That's like inflamed and stuff. It's not like scabbed over or like anything. Like that's damn.
Die
That's
Zukunft schicken, die Lücken zu schließen.
so Martha, not Noah.
Yeah, that is a fun potential difference.
But I guess that makes sense because if Adam isn't doing his thing in this universe, then Noah, like, he wouldn't have got Noah.
Oh. Oh. Back then, did he always mean he was trying
Wait.
to stop the Ulrich in the past from attacking him so that he wouldn't end up going down this way?
Kannst gehen.
That's even more sad.
Yeah.
Like, not the idea he's trying to kill... Well, I mean, they're both pretty sad.
Yeah. Right, so Ulrich lets him go here to follow him, which then goes back to the same kind of deal that was the case.
Yeah.
In OG timeline. Okay.
Yeah, your sniffer's primed, Ulrich. Yep, let him think he's gone. Yeah, and then follow him. Yeah, that's good, like...
Yep.
Du hast ihn umgebracht.
Oh.
Also nicht du, sondern irgendein anderes Du.
Oh, Bartosz.
Bartosz giving his best effort to understand 3 seasons of Dark in like 5 minutes.
Right.
Ist nichts mehr. Nichts.
A lot of important conversations have happened on this couch.
Er darf die Fässer nicht öffnen.
Oh, so is this going to be something where Bartosz stands up to his dad?
This is Martha's choice, kind of, right?
Yeah,
Like, and if he just calls him suddenly and is like, you need to not open the barrels, he'd be like, wait, why are you saying this? Watch it then be the thing that begets him actually, like, doing this.
Maybe.
Don't you ignore your son! Call him
Bastard.
back!
You call him back, dude. Come on! You trusted him with the information. Do it!
He just needs
Do
to
it!
process it and think about it. Yeah,
Do it
what
for
does
her.
she want?
Yeah, come on! I love how this is becoming something where, yes, it's Martha's decision, but it's also becoming everyone's decision, you know? Yeah, come on.
Again, it's the fate side of it. Like, this is just...
Charlotte, Alexander hier.
God damn it. Okay.
Lass ins AKW kommen.
Of course, then she needs to be here
Ich
for
möchte dir
this,
etwas zeigen.
And so he's doing the, I'm gonna get this off my chest, you know, right? Like, okay, I'm...
And that's gonna cause the apocalypse, yeah.
Right, right.
Alright, where and when are we going?
Why couldn't he have done that with his whole hand? Why did he just have to use the 3 fingers?
I love the idea that the best stabilized version of the God Particle portal is in one of the worlds because of the cross-communication stuff. So because they were bootstrapping their information in one timeline to make the most advanced...
Young men.
Oh.
They're separating. What?
Yeah.
Because then he dies alone, so... Okay, wait, hang on.
Man wartet auf dich.
Okay, okay.
She's got to do the same thing with Martha as she did with Jonas, remember? Set Jonas free, now set Martha free.
But we still haven't dealt with...
Stopp.
Yeah, going here. Cool. Put on one of those yellow...
Yep.
Und tust du, was sagt.
Wir Auserwählten müssen die Lücken schließen. Damit du deinen Weg hierher findest und Adam sein. Und wir endlich Erlösung finden.
Oh.
Lange auf diesen Moment gewartet. Ihr wisst, was zu tun ist.
That's the most villain-ass line.
Yeah.
You know
what to
we have
do.
waited long for this moment. You know it too. Pull the lever. Push the lever. You know?
Let the lightning spark, you know?
Right. Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Right, because he told her about this, and... Oh, no, okay. What?
I love how right he is about, like, implosion then explosion.
Oh, yeah.
Like, unintentionally accurate.
Right. Oh, they don't know how right they're gonna be.
Yeah.
Bartosz just... All right, pedal power, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is crazy.
Es ist besser, wenn du es selber siehst.
Good. Take a sledgehammer slowly to it, you know? Like,
right.
It's going to take you some time.
Yeah, those two are old.
All right. Stalking Helga.
But stop Ulrich. That's interesting. Oh, sure, but he doesn't realize that him going back here to stop Ulrich is what's going to give Ulrich the opportunity to go back there in the first place.
Welches mit der Leiche im Bunker passiert? Lassen DNA-Test machen. Ich weiß nicht wie, aber der Junge im Bunker, das ist mein Bruder. Das ist Mats. Ruf mich zurück, wenn du das abhörst.
I won't have signal when you call me back.
Right, but, call me back.
I'll be in, 33 years previously.
Oh, or just, deep underground.
Or 66 years previously.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Whoa. Light and shadow indeed.
Wer seid ihr?
Damn.
Kannst du dir das nicht denken?
Oh, this is war now. Like.
Yeah.
Ihr seid aus der Zukunft.
Aber nicht aus deiner.
They think she's the... Oh, wait. Oh, no. She is technically from the other world. Yeah.
Unsere Welt. Und er weiß, wo der Ursprung ist.
Wow.
That's
Aber davor musst du Jonas vor der Apokalypse in seiner Welt retten.
Yeah, so then go and take the device and go and save him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wenn du mit uns kommst, dann kannst du es verhindern. Ein anderes Mal.
We're filling all the gaps. No choices allowed here.
Wow.
This is crazy.
I love it.
Vater? Du musst mit uns mitkommen.
Oh!
Er gehört nicht zu uns.
No. Have Bartosz go. Yeah.
Es tut mir leid.
Wow.
Okay. So then that's Martha not making a different choice. Right, because it's the two different iterations and all that stuff. But what if Bartosz ends up going and stopping it?
Er hat ja nicht verstanden, wie alles wirklich zusammenhängt. Wie alles endet und beginnt. Nicht nur in unserer Welt, sondern auch in seiner.
He's never understood, and thus he's just kept looping it. Trying to...
Yeah.
Wow. So Martha's team has been winning all this time, every time he loops it.
Claudia, du musst dein anderes Ich leiten, unsere Augen in Adams Welt sein. Egon, du musst deine Vergangenheit erschaffen, um den Stammbaum zu erhalten. Noah.
Whoa.
Alles neu entsteht.
Two Noahs, yeah.
Auf jede Dunkelheit folgt Licht.
Oh my god! This is such a cool briefing! Like...
Yeah.
Warum machst du das?
To forcibly send her through.
Dass wir das Ende erreicht haben. Das, was in dir wächst. Der Ursprung.
Oh, no, he does know.
Aber er kann nicht auf normalem Wege getötet werden. Er ist aus beiden Welten geboren. Und es braucht die Energie beider Welten, um ihn zu zerstören.
So the portal is gonna function as an abortion device, basically?
Und falsch. Du und ich.
Yeah, wow. Wow.
In deiner Welt.
Yeah, he lost sight of that.
Und in meiner.
Jonas, bitte, Mats. Jonas!
So does he actually get it then? Is this...
Maybe. Well, and is he actually right that killing the baby will stop all this from happening?
Well, this might not even be, again... Damn, the emotion. Wow.
Jede Verbindung in der einen Welt muss auch in der anderen Welt geschlossen werden. Alles ist miteinander.
Okay.
They're prepped for both kind of places in the apocalypse, basically. They're both headed to their deaths, basically. Because they're the kid, you know? Wow. That Noah that gave her the watch was from the other world.
Right.
Perfect, yep. To give her the info, to arm her her own self with this. Wow. Me. Yeah. Whoa. Going way back. Right. In both
okay. Oh, right, to start the to make the thing happen in the first
both
place.
Universes. Right.
Yeah.
The same
the issue with the volume control. Yeah. It starts this all.
So many things.
I love it. Yeah. Oh, the barrels aren't even in there.
Nope. Whoa, you can see the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Yep, this is the end.
Holy shit. That was incredible. So many times, like, Dark episodes will be like, hey, we're gonna just like be introducing more questions and stuff, right? You know, and it's gonna be like wonderful tension and all that goodness. Right. But this was just like, hey, execute. Like just
we ain't got time.
Shit is happening.
Apocalypse is today.
Yeah.
Everything is now.
Oh my
Everything is
God.
now.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's all.
I kind of don't want to theorize at this point because I'm just like, this is so
Go
wild.
to the next episode.
Yeah, just next episode.
What do you think everybody that
see
watched
what,
this?
Like,
What do you
keep
think everybody
feeding
that
us
watched this show when it came out was thinking?
They were just Bartos. You know? Just like, wait, so.
Right.
This was such a delight.
This was a delight. Every thematic, everything just came together.
Yeah.
And then they executed everything on the plot side of things. And now we set ourselves up for a crazy finale.
And the funny thing is, I actually don't know who to root for here. But
you root for Jonas and Martha, right? That's the joke. Right? Because are they
I don't know
wrong?
who to root for here.
Are they wrong?
No.
That's the answer. That's the question, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. Okay.
Right?
So
that's the best part about this. Is do you root for Jonas and Martha?
Right.
Because if they're right.
Yeah, so there's 3 sides to this.
Yes, there are. Exactly.
Yes, because
Light
there's
and shadow and
right. So, there's Jonas, there's Martha, there's Jonas and Martha, and those are 3 different things.
Very different things.
Almost like a little Trinity thing or something, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But as far as okay. As far as the things that we got this episode, and my personal favorite bit as far as tying the time travel stuff together, the idea that they're like, hey, the reason why this stuff perpetuates, yes, there's some little elements of like you can't destroy something if it wasn't timeline, all that stuff, and that's why like Adam needs the machine in order to kill the baby because it's of both timelines.
And he's operating on a lot of faith, belief, and
exactly, right?
Here.
Right. But the idea that also that it's no, you can change things, but the reason that we're in this issue is not because there's a single loop that perpetuates itself, but that the actions of people as they do make changes,
specifically one that broke through every barrier here.
Yep.
We are using time travel to hop between dimensions.
Yeah. But because they do that, then this feels like it's just a time travel representation of like generational trauma. Right? Where it's where like it just skips the generation, right? It skips the iteration of the time loop, and then it does it in the next one, right? And so it's not even necessarily that the other one is another universe.
Nope.
But it's the set of other decisions.
Right.
Right? And so that's how it is when it's like that. And so the time travel that's actually happening is just skipping that iteration, basically.
Right. Yes,
right?
Exactly. So we have them both existing, but because we have the ability to cross those dimensions with the time travel introduced through the loop, therefore, the events basically that have happened over again because of the loop carry with it people who have memories of before the loop. And it's not single person who walked through the divergence barrier and created the choice or what have you. It also is kinda, because that's what Jonas Adam is that Adam Jonas is the one that watched Martha die. And didn't have Martha come in and basically be like, you need to come with me.
Yeah, he ran down into the basement, he survived, he became middle-aged Jonas, and then middle-aged Jonas became Adam. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And one of the things that this episode was wild, but one of the things that I find fascinating here is that they set up Martha being like, Adam doesn't know how this works, right? And then Adam actually presenting something that it's like, no, that actually sounds like it will stop this. I don't know necessarily how the three people that are the same person that are Martha and Jonas's kid will end up then propagating this whole, like Vinden and all that stuff. But I'm sure they're going to, and we'll maybe see that.
But it doesn't matter because
the idea that
I know things can be changed in some way,
right?
Because I've seen the ways in which things have been by being through an aversion of the events here that then ends up coming into things that I don't understand or don't have any memory of. Not just memory as if like things are like he experienced them, but that he's like, no, I've gone through this twice. I know what's going on here. And obviously not literally twice because he diverged. He didn't actually like...
Yeah, right. There's a piece of the puzzle that he has not experienced. And so he is working with limited information.
Right.
But the idea that he's like, no. If I kill the baby, then basically that will make it so that then this whole thing doesn't get perpetuated.
Yeah, and it might work, it might not, and I don't know. But at the very least, I'm going to definitely try. This is Adam's villain tragedy story here, is that he doesn't know how to both let her go and not be the one that actively is killing her. Like, he has to have his hand in it. He has to be the one doing this. Like,
well, what's wild to me is that I don't think that necessarily Martha will be killed by this.
No, I don't think she will either.
Right, it's that she's going to get sent somewhere. And that's where I think we could get the good ending for the show in that... So if Jonas going into the other timeline, right, and getting killed was something not necessarily new, but it was different from what the others had experienced, right? And which is the whole thing of like the skipping an iteration, like nature of the loop, right, with an infinity symbol.
Yeah.
But Martha's child now, we can assume, being killed by this, assuming it worked, right?
Right.
But then her being sent somewhere. That's now new information, right, of what's going to happen there. What's Martha going to continue to do? And so this episode did things where it's like, this feels like it's the end of the show, right? And, it almost is, right?
But it's not.
But it still sets up new things to happen. And so and yet I don't feel like I can fully track and follow with all the crazy stuff that they're laying down because there's so many layers. It's more the, we're doing this so that when you go and dissect the show, you'll be able to see we covered our bases. We did our homework. It's buttoned up.
So that's the part where I'm very much actually following. That's the part where I feel like I'm very much on board. I understand where things are going here because older Martha, basically laid it all out for us.
Yep.
She basically told younger Martha, who had just killed Jonas and had gone through all this stuff here, this is how we've won, how we win here, how we keep this going here. We want preservation, which ultimately can't really work.
Yeah,
but
you achieved stagnancy at best.
Right. But the part where they're clearly lying to her basically is that there's an aspect of the information trickle between light and shadow that is actually happening.
Yes.
But they need her to basically continue down this route to perpetuate everything that built what we have here.
Right.
And they're doing effectively the same playbook that every single older time traveler has been doing. And even if it's not the older ones, but even sometimes the younger ones being sent to perpetuate the older ones, like Jonas coming to help Claudia.
Right.
So what then happens is all of the older... Well, no, all of her soldiers, basically, at that point, with the most advanced version of the gateway, then go to specific points in their universe to set up all the things that would basically need to happen because they've got the information through not just the other universe, but also just by going through all this stuff here. But so the main reason why this is huge is because they're trying to basically prepare against Adam's attack against the kid. Okay. All of this stuff here is to basically lock in place the infinity bit here. Yeah. And so in order to have, and this is why I was so weirded out when they were like, Egon's here. I'm like, what? Egon needs to keep Hannah safe because him and Hannah create Celia. And then Celia then ends up going with Bartosz somehow to then end up propagating Noah and Agnes and the kid, basically, the trio, then go to end up creating Tronta.
Yeah, right, exactly. Right.
Because which then ends up perpetuating the Mikkel, like it's a full loop.
Right. Now.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thank you for breaking it down like that. That helped. So, I think I just realized something that is fascinating and answers one of the questions that I was curious if they were going to explain, given that it involves technology that we can't fully understand. So, time travel, but then having differences with the time travel of 33 years versus not 33 years versus dimension hopping. Right,
okay.
like universe hopping.
To old stuff here. What's your?
So, I think we got it here in this episode with them saying that the reason that there's difficulty with changing things is because you're only jumping, is because it basically you change things, but then the changes cause the people in the other universe to do things differently, which then feeds back into this universe, which then makes it go the same way. Right.
Yeah.
If you think about it, with the way that they established the idea of the time travel at the beginning, before we had it confirmed as time travel, but the idea of the every 33 years, everything, the heavens...
repeats.
Yeah, everything repeats.
Right.
And so, this is a little bit of an inference on my part, but I feel like it's implied by the show.
Well, there's thematic things that are absolutely carrying across through the fate conversation that the characters...
Right, but the reason why you can't time travel normally to the other universe, even though it's the same universe, just with different decisions, is because you're specifically skipping not 33 years or anything like that, but to the one in which the decisions are the same.
Right.
And so that's why you have difficulty going to the other ones, is because when you time travel, you're going to the one where everything is the same.
Right, but the thing that they're also making the point is that they've always, there's no like going to, they're all connected.
Yeah.
Like they're all connected through the decisions that are being made, passed through back and forth, and that's why things are repeated and stuff. But it's the, again, the second time travel was invented, multiple universes populated instantly. Like it was all like there's no like time with it, obviously, right? So, and we've explored very much through this season how the two universes are completely interlinked here, like interwoven. And the world that we've been on, the Adam's world, basically, has been through a junction point because of the other universe. At least one.
Right.
At least one.
Yes.
I think it's more likely that there's more than one.
Yeah.
At least more than one.
Right, but they did a nice thing of limiting it a bit by saying
Here's an immediate example.
Yeah, this is the specific main difference that we're dealing with. The other universes that might be out there are not recursing into this one, and so it doesn't really matter if they exist.
It doesn't. It's not relevant for the purpose of this story. This story will continue and actually will work regardless of how many infinite ones potentially are out there.
Right, because
it's not important.
But that's very important to do.
It's very important to do. But basically saying that, hey, the ones that are actually tied together, like hard looped together, are these ones, these two here. Now, the existence of an additional one or more is important for this story to actually have an ending. But that being said, Adam's test of basically saying, hey, everyone's doing their part to make sure that the apocalypse happens, which is also what Martha, from the youngest version of herself, so then the older versions having potential memories of this, and this is where things need to be potentially like clarified here, because we might be seeing another example of a person killing younger version, but because a decision was made that bisected them. This thing happening here with Martha and little child in tummy here might not actually have any dramatic effect, because the Martha commune has already created their own junction to protect themselves against Adam's stuff here by doing all the things with the soldiers and everything at the point right before the apocalypse.
Okay. Sure. Because you could theoretically have a situation where, because there's multiple universes, you're not necessarily inherently dependent on, like, if maybe Martha isn't the best example, but Charlotte in one universe versus Charlotte in the other universe. If Charlotte in the one other universe dies, this universe won't really care about it, right?
Correct.
Now, maybe that gets funky because they're not at the junction point of, the child of Martha and Jonas then begetting all of Vinden and all that stuff. And
and that's Adam's whole point of making it be through the portal with the junction of the two apocalypses. So it's the, like, both worlds are attacking you right now.
Right, which also then...
It also is nice and simple for just the audience to be, like, able to understand.
No, but this is another reason of why it's really important.
Yeah.
Adam went back and killed Martha. That wasn't just to make Jonas become him, because which is cool, because originally we thought that it's he has to have everything go the same, and he does, but that's so that he can have things go differently, because what he actually needed to do is to make it so that the child couldn't be born.
Right.
And so he kills Martha before she could have a chance to give birth to the child, right? Even though she was going to die anyways in the apocalypse. No, okay, yeah, so never mind. That wasn't needed. But
no, he was making him himself.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But now the reason why it's a singular situation is because there isn't another Martha, right? So if the baby is killed here, that's it, right? Like there's no other way basically that the other universe could get the kid in a way that wouldn't eventually unravel, because when the, like with the three different versions of them, right? Like the old one or the middle-aged one, that when he grows up to be old, he can't go back and find the child version of him because the child version of him wasn't born. And so then eventually it unspools and it all,
it's so exciting because, like, everything with this whole promised child, Jonas and Martha, their perfect match. No, they're wrong.
Right.
All this stuff, to me, feels like fate. It feels like the kind of thing where external forces are trying to manipulate and control their union, their way in which they're tied across time and space for their own ends. But every time we look at the playbook of those manipulating them, they're using the same dang things. They are both basically perpetuating the past to a future that they keep saying is different.
Oh yeah,
but every time we look and squint closely at it, it feels exactly the same.
Yeah, it feels like like you're cooking something, right? And you need to like cook it down, right? You need to let it like settle into something else. And it looks different when you're cooking it, but then it's like, no, it all cooks down to the same material, right? And so then we inject some good old, youthful rebellion, fight the power, screw those old people that want to control our lives. Yeah.
This whole story, yeah.
Yep.
That's then the whole story. And then it just brings me all the way back to so then Martha and Jonas are basically just two people that are both, in some ways, they're in the wrong universe. Like, they're both in the wrong place.
Sure.
And it's not that they're wrong and them together is wrong. It's that the universe is wrong.
It's the yes, together we're wrong. Yeah. But so is literally like everyone in this town.
Well, no, right. But I think there's something beautiful in that. I think what the story is trying to set up, is that it's not that Adam and Martha on the old side of things are either of them are bad.
Okay.
I think that they're both operating on the information necessary to, and this is maybe just a themes thing, or maybe it is actually their design or what have you. But I think they're playing the villains for their younger selves to end up like hopefully. Oh, don't you see?
No, yeah, you don't want to just motivate people by carrot or stick. You want both.
Well, right. But like, don't you see? You don't want to be me. Don't you see how?
Oh, like, yeah.
And they have to ham it up so hard. It's the whole thing of where like younger Jonas here, who ends up becoming Adam Jonas,
he's like, wait, you're telling me I have to go through 33 years?
Wait, but you knew Martha would die that way. Like, wait.
Hang on, fuck you.
Yeah. Hold up. Yeah. And it's just the thing of where Claudia doesn't have any, like, she's just, like, caught,
No, not even caught. It's the, like,
oh, don't look at me that way.
I just started this whole job. I haven't. Okay, that makes sense, right? But, like, I just started here a week ago, like you just finished telling me all of this stuff that I need to do that you were told to tell me by my older self.
That's true, yeah.
If you're then saying I don't trust you because of your older self, I can't really.
Sounds like a you issue.
I can't really refute that because I'm all going off of secondhand information that I'm getting from you. You know.
I'm just so excited by the line, every step Jonas takes is guided by us. Like the idea that even the feeling of maybe being fated or maybe being like so connected that he wants to hold on to her, being then the thing that makes it so that in order for him to get rid of this, he has to let her go. But he keeps doing it the wrong way. Like he keeps trying to like specifically like murder the baby, like murder her before she has the baby.
Right.
Like all these things. And yet it feels like the message isn't for you, Adam. Like it's
No, right. Well, and that's where they're going to bring that whole, the Trinity symbol thing, that's in the caves, right? Because there's the different writing, of Sic Mundus versus Let There Be Light and all that stuff.
I mean, that's simple. That's just Adam and
I know.
That's just Adam and Martha.
Yeah. But they did this, they're like, hey, this shape is integrally like fundamental to how the mechanics of the time travel works in this show.
Because you took two things that make sense to be, to be different.
Right.
But then you're like, but the fact that the symbol next to them is the same, that means something. And I love that because I agree with you. But I love that it's the kind of theory that I would make. It's got it's got like, vibes basis as the evidence,
Exactly, but they called it quantum entanglement this episode.
I know that hurt me a little bit.
That hurt me a little bit. I think they were banking on that. Like most of the people by this time, think about it. If you have an app for a show, for a story, to help people understand it, there will be a sizable amount of your audience that just won't have the app, right?
No,
even though it's important to have the app because holy shit, can you imagine going through the show without it? But so yeah, they can throw in things like quantum entanglement because most of the time, probably if you don't have the app or you haven't been doing a bunch of corkboard stuff while you're watching this show, you're gonna be Bartosz and you're just gonna be like,
My boner is keeping me like paying attention here.
Yeah, like my time travel boner is keeping me watching this show. I'm not exactly following it, but it feels, my brain gets the funny chemicals, you know, right? Like when I watch it,
and
so
you
I
think
keep
we're
watching
any
it.
better. You think we're any better.
We're better, but not by much, right? We have the app. The app is very useful. That's very important.
That's true. That's true. We can.
If we do that thing with this, you know, which, by the way, yeah, the whole outside or inside of the edge of the infinity thing, it doesn't change because it isn't a Mobius strip.
No.
It's a different thing. But if they're bringing up that as the mechanics for the time travel, then you can bet your ass that the third side that they did intentionally set up in subtext in this episode of the we're wrong for each other in both timelines. We're wrong for each other in both timelines. No matter what anyone says, remember that we are perfect for each other, right?
Yep.
Like
there's a world where they are perfect,
right?
And they're both.
So that's the third.
That.
That's the third thing. That's
right.
it's not an infinity symbol. It's a trinity symbol, right? And that's the show. And it might sound crazy to say it like that.
But I think you're 100% right. I think that's the point, is that if you think about it as either being something you have to break as a knot entirely, or something that you have to perpetuate, like it's so fragile or what have you.
Right.
You missed the point.
Yeah, like
both of them are wrong, but it's more the thing that could be fun of, wait, but if they're saying it this way to the younger selves, that means they have an agenda. They have to say it because their other selves need to know this, at least in some ways, because they saw their older selves tell it to them. They don't know why, necessarily, until they get to the point where they now know things. But what do they know that makes them want to tell them that?
Well, and that's where I think, going to the whole generational trauma thing and all that stuff, right?
Yes.
Because
it works so well.
The super controlling parents that then makes I must be a rebel, and so I won't be controlling to my kids at all. And then they're like, oh my God, my parents let me do whatever I want. That was so chaotic. I need to give some order. And so then they're controlling to their kids, and right, like. And as you do that, if you're acting in response to what the other side's doing, then you're just still having it be based in what they did, right?
And hence why it's all
and so the proper, I'm no, life coach, whatever, I don't know, or therapist, but then you decide to go, nah, we're going in a third direction. Forget both of those things, right? And now we're just gonna do something else, right?
I mean, doing something else is great, and I love the thing of like, we're going to jump ship here, but no, you're still you. Like you
totally, you will be informed based on the.
You are still going to be informed based on those things, and you will thus field that whole vision through the lens of what came before.
Right.
You can change though. This is the part that I'm with you on this though, is that you as a person are capable of change. Right. I defy all logic and reason that comes against me saying that, like, no, you can't really change after a certain point. Or once you've solidified your brain matter a certain way at a certain age, you're probably not really going to change. You're more going to make micro adjustments.
And the thing is that there's some practical reason to that of the whether or not you can change is not the same as whether or not you will change.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Hannah and Ulrich, I don't think they're going to change.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
Katerina.
Change is hard.
Katerina, she just demonstrated her ability to change in that wonderful scene with her and Martha.
Yeah.
To go, back from the interdimensional, fifth dimensional theory land back to the concrete things that the show did in that beautiful, beautiful scene where it's like concluding something that we can infer as being a struggle in this universe, but because of how it was in the other universe,
right?
And so
there's a fun argument to be made, basically, that the universe is basically as the result of a rejection of the trauma of the previous universe. Because you could argue theoretically that Martha's universe was begot then from the other universe, because they don't currently showcase. Now, they obviously are trying to perpetuate it and stabilize themselves in such a way that once the disconnect happens, they will be like, we're alive.
Yeah.
We don't completely collapse due to Adam's shenanigans, right? But what's super fun about that is then it's like, okay, Dad is about to do something really destructive. We need to let him do his dumb thing.
Right.
We can't save him.
Yeah. He believes that DIY is better in this particular case than just calling an expert.
Or just, at the very least, just talking about the struggle he's dealing with, here.
Right.
And sometimes, I'm not trying to get, like, all sappy here, but, like, sometimes it's okay to let someone you love or you care about
fuck up.
Yeah. Because it's not your job to save them.
Right.
It is not your job to save them.
Yep.
And it's so freeing for some people. It's like some people are in that situation where they need to hear that. But it's really cool in that the story has set up that the universes in some way, even though it's all now and everything, are kind of giving us a Katarina, for instance.
Sure.
That has, like, the ability to emotionally, like, more sit with her kids post all the shit happening.
Right.
We have a Hannah that is in some ways more rounded and, like, sorry, that's not a pregnancy pun. Like,
no, it was a pregnancy pun and it was great. Don't worry.
and like grounded because of the shit that happened to her. She took that and actually, like in some ways here, Ulrich's still the one that's fucked up in both universes.
Oh yeah.
But also, Hannah's not that bad here.
Also, slight confusion, and this will probably just show how little I know about pregnancy, right? So, the blood that came...
if you keep your mouth shut, everyone...
No, I know, but I
think you're an idiot, but once you open your mouth...
but that's just showing ignorance, right? And so I'm fine with that.
Okay.
But, so, I thought it was going to be something where, like, Hannah's water would break, and then it's like, oh no, like, the baby's coming or something like that. But that was a bunch of blood. And then we had the whole thing of Adam being like, this will cause a miscarriage, right? This will kill your baby. So, was it that her baby actually, like, died inside her because of the time travel stuff that was happening at the same time? Is that what they were trying to imply? I'm not sure, because,
I don't know. All I know is that what's going on in the world at that point is the massive radiation waves and everything. Like, the world's about to end. Birds are falling out of the sky. I could very easily see pregnancy going wrong. Like,
sure. That's a good point.
Like, it's more that it's a miscarriage specifically because of all the EMF going out.
Right, whatever Yeah. Okay.
Like, I could see it being something that's tied more directly to the Martha stuff, but what I thought and extrapolated from that was that it was a miscarriage and a very dramatically visual one for the purpose of letting people know that, like, hey, the apocalypse is happening.
Yeah, and here's, like, a side effect or whatever.
Here's a side effect of it,
One other thing that I feel like kind of goes hand in hand with the Katharina scene, and the whole generational trauma thing and all that stuff. Alexander, so there are times... All right.
The tone, I can tell exactly what you're going to say.
I'm all for having a conscience and owning up to your mistakes and things like that. Yeah. But there is such a thing as... and he doesn't know about all this stuff, of course. He doesn't know that he's about to start the apocalypse. No. But the fact that him being like, I've kept secrets for 33 years. Okay, fine. I'm going to not keep somethings anymore. And it literally dooms the world. Like, there's just some...
I mean, it didn't actually.
No. It actually did. Because, it's not necessarily the whole world. It's just Vinden and all that stuff, right? But the idea...
Well, no, the apocalypse hits the world. Like...
No, exactly. And it happens because he's
like...
But
why did him keeping the secret...
No. It's because he didn't keep the secret. He had been keeping the secret, and then he's like... Oh. But I feel like I'm in a get redemption kind of mood right now. I'm gonna tell my son about what happened.
In the 80s,
great, good job. And then I'm going to ignore him when he calls me after that, which might be an important conversation because I want to go feel better about myself in this other area, and just shuffles over there, and it's like, let's open some,
he's airing out all the laundry, basically.
Yeah, and I'm just saying,
he's lost his wife. He's basically
I totally
realizing
get it.
that this is all about to come out with the investigation and everything going on, right now. So might as well just get out ahead of it.
But like, you're the one who's like, I'm gonna show this stuff anyways. you could very easily just take that call from your son, maybe. Like as far as what theoretically could have been different in this universe if he just answered the goddamn phone
and
after dropping that doozy on his kid.
Right. I think the reason why I think this is a cool like example of the human like not just frailty, but like, human
like
it's
human his own weakness.
Human weakness basically is that you realize that you're on this path and you've made your choice a while ago. And then we have the grandstanding audacity to like philosophize about fate and all that stuff.
Yeah.
When it's usually that, no, you made decisions that made it so that this decision wasn't a decision. You made the decision a while ago.
Right. And Ulrich decided to be a cheater before he cheated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. This is probably like the cold pill. It's not colored pill. It's a specifically like you have to swallow the cold hard truth here is that most of the decisions that you make subconsciously are the result of minor conscious decisions that were made for you or you made a long time ago.
Yep.
And thus, it's not that you don't have free will or you do have free will. You have some measure of free will. Like you have a tiny measure of it.
And if we don't, it's so impossible to determine that there's no point in asking the question other than from a philosophical standpoint.
Yeah, you want to write a book, go ahead. But like, I think that those kinds of decisions to basically keep your son at a distance. Whoa, what a surprise. You had a minor decision here where you brought him in, but you brought it on with such I'm going to do something else really soon here that's more important than this. So I might as well do this too. It's almost poking at the idea that, Alexander, you're treating your son as less important than the plant right now.
Sure.
Like
at the
very least.
Yeah, and maybe in a slightly better way. You're half-assing being vulnerable with him by basically telling him the stuff and then not actually being willing to listen when he finally has maybe had time to think about it and has something that he wants to say.
Right, right. And because in a lot of ways Bartosz had to grapple with all that and process it and go sit down for a bit.
Yep.
You know, Alexander's like, I did a good thing here. And then leaves.
And then it's the equivalent of like you have something that you need to do, and so you're like, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna go clean the house instead. Well, like,
right? Here's a way
that's what he did with the plant. You know?
Here's an example of a positive. You confess your love to somebody.
Yeah.
They freak out and run into the other room screaming excited. You're like, I did a good thing, and you leave the house. Oh,
gotcha. See,
it's so dumb if you think about it. Why don't you chase after them and continue the excitement because they're excited right there, right?
Gotcha. I see.
Like they're obviously going through an emotional thing, and in their emotional reaction, you then distance yourself after that because you're like, well, they clearly need time and all that stuff. And it's like, well, yes, but like not necessarily like...
Here I thought you were going to go down the angle of a very specific example that is not at all my own personal experience of you confess your love to someone. They shoot you down. You're like, I see. And then you go into a bookstore nearby and just, read a novel front to back, while maybe crying.
Now that's healthy. Anyone can relate. Yeah, totally. All right. I think then this episode sets up the reason why the show exists. Like we're going to see the anomaly. We're going to see the way in which things are different. The way in which Adam was wrong.
Yep.
The way in which Martha's stuff, at the very least, is working or will work. And then we'll get the light and shadow collapsing in on themselves. We get our God particle, whatever. There's so many themes like on the idea that the friction between these two universes and all this stuff created something, and thus now we have a baby that's being created of the two universes, and it's like there's so many parallels and things
we got
of two and two and two, all throughout this.
Yep.
I'm excited for 3.
Yeah.
I'm excited for 3. Like,
Me too.
I'm really excited.
And I just got to say, as someone who's watched, quite a few time travel stories and shows and movies and things like that, it makes me so happy to see so much bookkeeping in an episode.
Right.
Like, especially towards the end. Like, and when I say bookkeeping, I mean, like, all the stuff of, like, okay, so we have all of these things that we need to, like, make sure are buttoned up and, you know, I's are dotted and T's are crossed and stuff, like, before we end the show.
They left some things in there for the super fans.
Like, yeah,
they
exactly.
left some things in there for,
and the
like,
fact that basically this entire episode was that,
you know.
like an, you know, hour-long episode was basically just bookkeeping. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
And then also had an emotional core.
And had a fantastic emotional core to that. Like it was a bunch of bookkeeping, and it was also insanely engaging.
Yeah. But all right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon and get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about other shows in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.